Well, doesn't it seem today as if just about every other teen out there is interested in making videos, whether it's on their cell phone or using the latest high-tech camera? Just check out YouTube and you will see what I mean. There is a festival, though, that is giving a voice to quality films and videos that students are creating. It's called Speak Up, and it runs tonight in Mississauga. Giselle Tulipano is the founder of the festival. Phil Adrien is a student filmmaker. He produced a film called Hello, Darling, which will be one of the 18 short films shown tonight. And both are in the studio. Hello to you both. Thanks for coming in.
Hello.
Actually, you know what? Since we're on the topic of graduation, Phil, you just graduated, right?
I did.
From Ryerson. What was it like?
It was a great experience. I mean, it's the culmination of 4 years of hard work, and it's kind of bittersweet because you realize that obviously the real world is looming. So, yeah, it's exciting, and it's also kind of nerve-wracking at the same time, but I've been able to find work out of university, so I'm quite pleased about that.
Congratulations.
And, yeah, I couldn't be happier.
Fantastic. Well, Giselle, I mean, Phil, I guess these are the kinds of students that you're seeing in their work. Tell me why you decided to start this festival, Speak Up.
Well, I myself graduated as a film student at Humber College at year 2005. And I realized after volunteering at many different other film festivals and interning at different ones, I've been meeting a lot of students who also come from Mississauga, by the way, go traveling to many different ends of Toronto. And I just thought, well, why don't we, start something in Mississauga? Because a lot of young voices say there's nothing going on in Mississauga. Oh my God, what is there to do? Like, we just go to the mall. So I just thought, well, why don't we start something instead of, just complaining about it? So I decided to start a film festival, and especially cater to students because I know how hard it is to get your foot in the door. It's all about keeping in touch with your friends too when you graduate, because they are with you throughout your whole life, I would say, career-wise, when it comes to the film industry. So I started the festival because I wanted to help other students like myself at the time, but now I'm very passionate about it and I believe in them, and I've seen so much quality work throughout the years coming out of schools like Ryerson, Sheridan, Humber, and even high schools. Like, we've been getting material all the way from BC high schools.
Oh, okay. And well, tell me, what are the rules or stipulation for entering the film festival?
For entering the film, well, first of all, you need to be a student, and to be a student, you either need, the youngest would be in high school, and then the eldest is pretty much ageless because, like I said previously when we were speaking a while back, that when you go to post-secondary, you're in school with different age groups.
Exactly. I got an email from one woman. She just graduated, and she's in her 50s.
Yeah. So you're considered a student, and we're not going to discriminate at all at that.
Right.
So,
I'm interested, Phil, your point of view on this. I mean, you said that you've got a job, which is great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But considering these times as well, do you find that with your friends and others who you've graduated, it is difficult to get a foot in the door?
It is, and that's why festivals such as these are such a sort of a beacon of hope, because they really allow us, after school has kind of passed and me graduating, is seeing how tools like these are allowing us to continue and sort of network with new filmmakers and make contacts and still kind of push the hard work that we've done. And it's a great tool for young filmmakers to be able to get into something like this and have their work exposed to a greater public, right?
Right. And what are you doing now? And also, what are your plans?
Great question. I work for a production company called General Purpose Pictures, and they produce lifestyle television, and I work there as sort of an assistant and an IT consultant as well. So it's kind of like an entry-level position, but I love it, and I'm really happy to be working in the industry. And I'm also trying to start up my own business as well, and kind of jump in the entrepreneurial spirit and create my own company as well with someone who also worked on the film in new media, a new sort of sector where there could be a potential for new jobs to open up. Yeah.
Now, Giselle, you have 100 entries this year. You've seen them all, including the films, of course, from the previous 2 years when you had the festival. What do these films tell you about what is on students' minds?
Well, definitely these films are like a window into what's going on their minds, right? And I just was totally blown away with the maturity level, and I'm not trying to put anyone down on that, but how much like students, what the topics they're thinking about. They talk about social issues, they talk about internal struggles, they talk about even whatever's on their mind, even like I've mentioned again previously, like sci-fi. Like people are all thinking about these things, and these are students.
Sci-fi in what sense?
They're interested in the future and what can happen to us human beings. Like they definitely like anything that's related to Star Trek, things like that. It surprises me that they are well advanced in thinking that, like, because when you hear the term student, people get underestimated a lot. So that's where I feel that this festival comes into play, and we are definitely about giving them that lift. That's
Did
why
you
we
see
have
any
awards.
common themes? Have you seen any this year?
Well, the common themes, I don't like to specify so much, but there is the internal struggle, like I've mentioned, that a lot of, I guess, students go through when you're in school or going to your job. Like the life at home is very, very important, and you can see this through some stories such as Hello Darling has a definite story of struggle that's going on within a family household, and Phil can actually talk
Phil,
about
tell us
that.
about that. Tell us about your film.
It's a bit different because it's not something that necessarily relates to us on a student level. It's about an elderly gentleman that basically has had everything that is important to him. His family, his work has kind of been robbed from him, and he really feels old and sort of removed and alone from his life. And so he's a shadow of his former self, and he kind of goes through the motions of waking up every day and working a 9 to 5, and then he gets a computer, and then the computer sort of opens his eyes to a brand new world. And I think we kind of take for granted the social interactions that we make on the internet, but for someone who is getting their first computer at, say, 65, it's a whole new ballgame. So Hello Darling was really a chance for us to explore that sort of scenario.
Why did you choose that subject matter?
Honestly, we really struggled with what we wanted to do for our final student project, and we thought about doing something really now and glitzy and glamorous, but we just felt like for our final project, we wanted to do something that would leave a sort of lasting message. And so we felt like there was a big lack of sort of coverage of elderly central characters in current media sort of representations of film. So we decided to start with a character who was sort of a lonely old man, and then sort of build the blocks around him and see what happened. And 6 or 7 months later, Hello Darling came to fruition.
That's interesting. The reason I ask is because very often we do things because we have a personal connection to them, right? It's within our realm of experience. Was this something that was personal to you?
That's a great question, and it would have been a juicy story had it been something that was very, very personal to me. My grandparents passed when I was quite young, but I felt in a way that maybe it was some sort of rite of passage, I guess, or sort of like a memento. I felt like it was an untold story, and I feel like as a filmmaker, you kind of strive to tell those untold stories, whether that be through documentary or through film that's loosely based on either a personal event. And Hello Darling is really an untold story, I feel, of what it would be like to be very old and very alone.
Yeah, very topical today. Giselle, in the 3 years that this festival has been running, what would you say, and you have said that you've been surprised at, the quality of the work. What about on the technical side?
Technical side has been improving again throughout the 3 years, even at a high school level. I mean, they are improving technically with equipment such as cameras. High school students have access already to HD cameras and listening to sound. I mean, part of the festival experience too is we are encouraging students to educate themselves more in how to market themselves. So this is why our festival is actually pushing for copywritten-free music, and it also allows students to network with local musicians, and we are trying to teach this from a high school level. So that's why I've noticed throughout the years, reoccurring people who like to resubmit have improved. And we've noticed that by giving them the tools even on our website, such as the clearance of copywritten music form, because some people just don't know what it means or to draft one. So they've been using that each year. The quality of the film, even the acting, is starting to improve. And I think too, some of the students, they do come to our event. So they also watch other filmmakers from a level of high school to post-secondary.
Yeah, that's a good point, because, I mean, outside of the creative part of it, there is